There is nothing else more important than investing into your business.
No.
Whether if it's buying leads or if you're marketing for your business or you're trying to get a new agent, but you have to buy leads for your business to keep it going. Take half of your money, whatever you get, put it right back to your business. Don't even touch it.
Yeah, so I'm really happy for guys like JP where it's progressing, because he's obviously not where he's ultimately going to be. He's still got a long ways to go. He's got a lot of people to help. But this is the thing about just showing up. I mean the thing is, like, if we had to base everything based off of strictly production or numbers, like, I would have gave up on him a long time ago. Right? Thanks for joining us this week on the Elite Sales Podcast. I'm joined in studio this week by my man, Jean-Pierre Badon, Jean-Pierre, JP, as a lot of people affectionately know him. We also are with FFL 7 Pillars.
That's correct.
Let's go, JP.
Can't keep track of the names, but 7 Pillars.
Changed up the name like 4 times.
Come on, man.
And also joined the studio this week, as you guys have seen him plenty of times, John Bacaron with FFL Elite Syndicate.
What's going on, guys?
So, JP, before we hop into it, I'm having you on because we're planning the LA Sales Conference, which we're going to get to in a little bit more in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming up next week, next Thursday. But just wanted to have you on because you're helping us, plan this event. You're going to be hosting it.
Nice.
You have to come in. We have to call in relief pitcher.
The relief pitcher. Hey, sometimes the relief pitcher is better than the first three.
Cliff started due to personal reasons. Came and help out, which we appreciate that. But Your team name is FFL 7 Pillars.
7 Pillars.
I was always kind of curious. I mean, I think we kind of discussed this. What does that mean?
Yeah, so there's there's all types of definitions, but I was reading a book about the 7 pillars of success, and it really stuck out to me. And those 7 pillars, in any type of business, you have to have some type of thing that you're working towards, like I don't know how to. I'm not sure the exact terminology for it, but something that means something more than what you're doing. So
like a purpose?
Yeah, like a purpose behind it. Yeah.
Or a goal, or
like a goal.
Symbol, something.
But I changed my name like 20 times, so it is what it is.
So what are the 7 pillars?
Yeah.
Hold on. I forget them.
Why did it have so much significance to you?
I don't know, because once you're doing this business for a while, you got to find something that makes sense for you. And I feel your team name should always be something that embodies you. So for you, Elite, that definitely embodies you. So as I've changed in the business and different things have happened, and just understanding what I want out of the business, I had to find something that meant something to me. So there's all types of different reasons why, but yeah, it was.
What's the main reasons? Like, if you had to tell everybody, what's
like a company vision or something,
like a company vision. Hold on, let me make sure I don't mess it up. So basically, the 7 pillars of success, because there's so many different forms. There's different forms of 7 pillars. There's biblical forms. There's all types. But
is it biblical for you?
No.
Are you a man of God? No.
Are we allowed to say that on here? No.
Yeah, man. Why not?
Yeah,
it's our podcast.
Hold on, let me pull them up because I'm forgetting it.
It was just more
slipping. I'm thinking
it was more of an impromptu question, man.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, patience, hustle, focus. The main thing was focus.
Okay.
I was reading through the 7 pillars of success, and I was like, I got to really focus. And then he was having different chapters of how to reach your goals within each of the pillars. Right. So there's also 7 pillars of the finance. Like there's all types. But this is just things that will help you be successful in your career. So patience, hustle, focus, persistence, grind, sacrifice, and ambition. So for the people that are on here, I believe we all have some form of the 7 pillars within our business, and you have to be able to rely on it in order to last a long time and be profitable. Yeah. So that's pretty much. I can't believe I forgot it, but I was blanked out for a second.
Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay.
I'm just curious. I was curious myself, but the part of the reason why I asked is also because as we continue to grow our agency, continue to build, people are going to be stepping up, and people will be growing at their own agency. So for that, when you get to a certain level, when you start helping 100 families a month,
right?
As a team. If you want to know the actual numbers, reach out to us. We'll tell you.
Yeah.
When you're trying to help 100 families, in terms of your team total volume, you get to name your own agency. Mm-hmm. So you get to create a brand, you get to create a logo. And I think for a lot of people, like some people don't really like plan for their own success.
Yeah.
And I think you all should. I mean, obviously you have to get there first, but then, when as you're striving for it, you should think about, what your logo and what your brand represents about you, and what it represents about your team.
Right.
I was very fortunate. I was here, and the FFL wasn't that big when I started.
Mm-hmm.
But then, when the name Elite was open, I was like, cool, I'm locking that one down because, I feel like it represents a lot of things that are important to me. I want the people on our team to feel like they're part of something elite. Yeah. And I want them to look at themselves that way, because this is an elite opportunity. Mm-hmm. And for us to try to step up and become elite leaders, elite producers. I mean, it's something very goal worthy and something that I think it'll benefit enrich all of our lives and the people in our lives.
Yeah. 100%.
It's a good thing for you guys too. If you're getting into this business and you're looking to build your agency, when it comes to building and creating your logo, you're elevating yourself. You're now thinking outside of yourself, because now, initially when you're coming in, I want to make money. I want to take care of my family. I want to take care of myself. Let me get by. Let me prosper. Let me get above water, from buying leads to profiting, having a return of investment. And that's all you're thinking about. But once you get to that level where you made some money, now you're like, okay, let me recruit some people. Let me create a team. You're thinking bigger than outside of yourself. So that's something for you guys to start planning now. If you don't have a team yet, or if you don't have an agency, start thinking about it. If you had an agency, what would be your agency name? And it makes you start planning and really diving deep into your business, what your vision is, kind of like what we're questioning with JP, what does that mean? What does the name mean? What do you want to exemplify? What do you want to scale into your business? What do you want to pass on to your team? So start thinking big. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. And you definitely want something like symbolic, something bigger than yourself too, because, for anyone to just be like, hey, I'm going to work really hard today.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go try to make money. Right. It's like, okay, that's a good immediate task you put ahead of yourself. But then the thing is, for what? After a while, you're gonna start to lose focus, and you get someone hang up on you, someone slam the door in your face, someone tell you no, someone tell you to go to hell, whatever it is. Then all of a sudden, you lose that drive, because you're not thinking of something bigger.
Yeah.
But if you know what you're representing, and the thing is, when I got the name Elite, it wasn't like, hey, I think I'm an elite guy.
Right.
I mean, not to say I don't think that, but I mean, also I think it's it's representative of our team, of the people that we work with, and the people I'm proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with and say, this is my group. I'm really proud of people that I work with. So, I think that holds me accountable to make me feel like, in order for me to feel like I'm part of that team, I need to do my part.
Yeah. And not just that, but at the start, when you just made it, right, you're like, okay, this is great. And then you start developing and evolving it into a brand, so think about just any other business, marketing business, think of Nike, man. Nike has the best slogan, right?
That's true.
Just do it. So now it's evolving into your business of what you can scale. What are your coachisms, what type of things you can carry on to your team. So think big, think deep, because when we were making up our names, it took a while. That's why JP had multiple changes of names, right? Until it finally embodies you. Would you say?
But the good thing is for Albert, what I'm noticing is that he is elite and he does embody that. So whatever you do choose, make sure it does embody you. When I see you, you have the best branding in FFL. And we really do, because we're out there a lot. Every time we go to a conference, everyone else says Albert's the best dressed. That's true. That's like being elite, holding yourself, to a higher standard. So whatever you guys are deciding what you want to do with your agency, make sure it does represent you. So
I appreciate that. But I mean, reality, it's not like I care that much, but I take pride in what we do. And it's obviously the branding is not just me. It's it's everything our team does. Awesome staff with Sam and Yoel and Joanne and all of our marketing. It's just something that I care about, and I'm constantly trying to figure out how to get better with it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So All this being said, I mean, like when we're talking about you guys thinking bigger and taking ownership of your business, I mean, also there's like that little bit of you kind of try to find that fine line to walk when it comes to, all right, I'm representing this group, but also like I need to make my own way and make a name for myself, because in like with 7 Pillars and Elite Syndicate, it's there, you got to find a healthy balance to be able to be like, all right, well, I'm gonna do my thing,
yeah,
and then also I'm still gonna try to represent a bigger group. Like I had to do a better job of representing FFL Financial, which is Jack Hughes' team who brought me in.
Oh,
Because I was so obsessed initially about building out my brand that, like, I was like, there could have been better times when I could have helped put him over. I could have like helped his business, which I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, it's not like he made a very active effort initially. Like, I think he started recognizing a little bit later, which I'm happy he did.
Yeah.
But like I'm proud to rock FFL USA, Andrew Taylor's group, because I feel like that has helped me in my success. And then obviously with Paul McLean with West Coast, and obviously bigger picture with FFL, like we're all part of the same family. And the thing is, sometimes people kind of get wrapped up in like, no, I'm not representing anybody else. I'm just going to do my own thing.
Squad.
This is me. And look, I appreciate that when people take pride in their own business, but sometimes it's like, it's misguided, because I feel sometimes people say stuff like, oh, well, they didn't really help me anyway, or this group didn't help me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to represent my own thing. But I think people need to step back and look at it sometimes. Like, and I did some self-reflection, and I'm like, okay, well, were they bad to me, or was I a bad teammate to begin with? And they didn't include me because I couldn't let myself be included. Right. So there's a little bit of that. Have you guys gone through that in your iterations as you develop?
I mean, I think we all do. As we get a little bit better, we want our own autonomy. I mean, but when it comes to my own personal feelings, I'll never not claim Elite, because you guys always treated me right. When you're on a good team, it's hard not to be a part of the team. So when you're on a good team like our team, and you have your managers ask you to be a part of something, whether if it's training, whether if it's for, being part of a conference, whether it's hosting a conference or whatever it is, you're just going to show up, because that team has kind of brought you to where you're at right now. So even though you do want your own autonomy, you always have to show respect to the people who did bring you in. So for myself, that's how I feel.
Yeah, just from the start of it all, like, in other IMOs, Sean Mike was really smart about this, whoever it was that created these logos and names. Because in other IMOs, back in our the company that we work with, it wasn't a team logo name. It was actually your last name, right? Which created too many silos. And then, it's the Lau agency, the Bacaron agency, the Badon agency. So now it's associated with one individual instead of like the whole entire team with a bigger picture. Initially, some other teams that came in at first, they said West Coast, East Coast. And then it started becoming more like, okay, well, now you just isolated yourself to the left side. So that's the purpose of these names, to make sure that it's one team. And then that's why most of the time and all of the time it says FFL, then the name, because it's still part of one team. So just understand while you build, you're going to have your characteristics of your team, but then overall in the big picture, that's why we're doing these BDMs. Random people are coming in from different offices, because it's one part team. So identify, what are you getting out of it, and what are you also giving back into the team? Don't just think like, okay, you're the best thing is sliced bread, and then you have the number one system in the world that no one else can share secrets to, all these things.
There's not really like secrets in this business.
Right.
You got to put in work, and you got to invest, and you got to, the more people you help, the bigger you grow. So yeah, don't ask like, hey, what is my team doing for me? Just be like, how good of a team am I?
Yeah. What could I do for the team,
for the rest of the team?
Yeah, for real.
So, I just bring that up. I mean, you guys can think whatever you guys want. I'm just bringing this up because, like, I want everybody to have an opportunity to be involved and to continue to grow and see how we can help each other with this whole endeavor. Because the thing is, as much as we're all responsible for our own results, the thing is, if you want to grow big, you can't do it alone.
Yeah. And not just that, but going back to this, if we really want to grow big, we need to create more logos. And let us know what you need from us that we can help you out for. Right. So just understand, what does it take to get to a logo, which is a senior sales manager, how many people you need, how many production you have. Let us know what we need. But ideally, at the end of it all, we got to be able to have a scalable business where an individual can have clients, which are leads, and be able to have a process to convert those leads into sales and generate revenue, and then rinse and repeat.
Yep.
And to be clear, I mean, you don't have to agree on everything. I mean, you're your own person. You have your own thoughts, and you can create your own like team identity and everything else.
Yeah.
But the more that you can work together, the like you have to understand, like, okay, if I want something from somebody, what do I need to do to show that value to that person, or to this entity or to this group?
Right.
Because if you can do that, I mean, it's a happy medium. You know, individually, yes, people, you know, you're gonna be upset about certain things, or you may not agree on certain things, but at the end of the day, we're all going after the same thing. We're all trying to win. We're all trying to build our respective businesses and all make money and all help a bunch of people and just feel good about what we do. So, you know, it's like the Olympics is probably like the best representative of that, right? Like people play, like NBA players play on different teams and they compete and they're trying to kill each other all season.
Right.
But then when you're representing the US of A, you know, the thing is, like, we all root for the same people, because, like, even though we're different, the thing is we still have that one thing in common. We're all in the same country. We're all in this thing together. So it's the same thing here in business. So, you know, just be a little bit mindful about that, because I think sometimes, you know, we kind of tend to get focused on just one thing, and we don't see the bigger picture. But, you know, when you realize we're all in this together, we're all looking to help each other out, we're all going after the same thing, and, you know, let's find some creative ways to help you grow your business. And by doing that, see who we can help.
Yeah, that's really good.
But yeah, all that long thing just to say, because JP actually stepped up and he's helping to plan out this sales conference is coming up next Thursday. That's here in the city of Carson, right down the street from our office. If anyone's local, if anyone wants to come out and visit, it's free to attend. It's from 9 to 3.
9 to 3. That's right.
Not 3 to 9.
3 to 9.
9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we're gonna have a ton of speakers there. We'll have different agencies. We'll have mostly elite, but we'll have different voices from different teams.
Yeah.
And it'll be and we'll have the carriers there as well. So it'll be a good time to bring, brand new people to the business who may not have experienced FFL before. They can meet some top people on the team, some new people to the team, and get different perspectives from all angles. So I think that's what these sales conferences are all about. We're trying to get new voices on. We don't want to hear the same people over and over and over, because sometimes it can get a little redundant. But when you have new people succeeding and new managers succeeding, and we can bring them on and, and get them on stage, the message can come across a lot clearer and people can hear it.
And just a reminder, that is a Thursday. So with the podcast, it's going to run through it. We'll have something else set up for that.
Yeah.
So, Cliff originally was planning this thing out, and then some unexpected stuff came up, and he had to deal with some personal stuff. So when he reached out to you, I mean, was there ever any like reluctance or hesitancy to step up and do it?
No. When he said it out, the only thing that came to my mind is what if Esmeralda gives birth, because we're expecting in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Sounds like if she doesn't give birth, we're fine. But besides that, I don't mind helping out. And I think that's how I like to, be. It's not a big deal for me,
Well, I got to give you a lot of credit. I mean, part of the reason why I asked you why you named 7 pillars, because I'm like, JP's a very interesting dude.
Yeah.
he's
I'm a little contradictory sometimes.
Well, he always makes me laugh. And, he's actually one of my favorite guys to work with, just because, like, it's not necessarily because of the numbers or because, like, he brings like this, like, it's production or whatever it is. I'm like, he's just the guy that I know I can count on.
Yeah.
And he's just the guy that, like, I just know will step up. And, he's not perfect, obviously, but the thing is, if you need something, like, he's always willing to step up and help. And I think that's like a real admirable characteristic that I think people generally would like to help, but then sometimes people are like, well, what's in it for me?
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And I've never gotten that feeling from JP. And here's what's also, like, discovered about myself. Like, I've been having my sessions with Talise, our performance coach. So if anyone needs a session, reach out, we can get you set up. But I mean, I just started seeing her again, because I'm like, we need to grow, and I need to figure out, like, what I need to do personally, because that's all I can control. Mm-hmm. And then I realized I'm really terrible at asking for help. And not because, like, I'm like shy or anything. It's just I just like to figure things out for myself, or I guess part of it is, like, I don't like to burden other people with my stuff. And it's not that I have too much pride where I'm like, let it get to the point where like it crushes me from the weight of all this stuff. It's just more like I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like I feel very capable and I'm willing to work and I'm willing to figure things out. So, but like JP's like always been one of those guys that just comes to my office from time to time and be like, hey, what do you need? Like whatever you need, like let me tell me. And it also used to kind of annoy me a little bit.
You're like, I don't need anything.
A little too damn helpful.
No, because I'm just not used to it. But I mean, I guess like one of the things and that whole rant about the teams and how we work together. I mean, I think there's a lot of value in being able to ask for help at the right times and then being able to offer help at the right times. Like all these things can really like make a big difference for you. You never know who really needs it that day. And you never know like who really could use that additional bit of help. So I mean, if we're all making ourselves available and we're all just like, participating to the best of our ability, because don't give away at a detriment.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Marlon about this earlier. I was like, doesn't it feel great to give? Because he was able to help his dad with some stuff. And I was like,
nice.
Does it feel awesome?
Yeah.
Because of this opportunity.
Right.
Because of things that we were able to get out of this. So don't give away at a detriment either, because you got to make sure that you're on solid ground. You're giving from a position of strength.
Yeah.
And then for me, I think too often in time, I'm like, I don't want to burden anybody else because I don't want to take away from what they're doing. But sometimes it eliminates their opportunity to grow in that situation.
Yeah.
So I think right now this is a great thing that you stepped up and you're planning this thing out.
Yeah. We've been to like 1,000 sales conferences. So, for me, we've been here. I've been here 3 years now.
Okay.
It took me 3 years to get good at this. So for a lot of agents that are on here, it might take time, but, I have no worries about hosting the sales conference because, once you're doing it so much and you know the business, it's just second nature, So for me, when he said, hey, I need somebody, so I got you. No big deal,
That's awesome, man.
So
leveling up.
Let's see again.
You're leveling it up.
Leveling up. That's true. We're going to level up for sure.
Well, so this is new for you to plan it out. And
to plan it all out. Oh yeah.
What have you learned about it so far?
That people are on different schedules. That's what I learned. And you got to get, a mass group of people to agree on one thing, But I mean, realistically, we have a good set of teammates to where everyone's pretty vocal, where they can, express what they need from us if they need anything. But once we put the schedule through, everyone's pretty much on board. So, I mean, we got a good team. We got good people.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Sam too. Sam's been doing a lot of little things. Like if you guys have not followed our Instagram, follow it and please share it. He's been posting it daily about the conference. Yeah. Just share it to your story. It's like a one click away off your phone, but it creates and markets for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Sam.
Plus, I mean, think about it from a practical standpoint. I mean, like if you want to market your business, just start sharing stuff and then people get tied in. They're like, oh, this is what this person's doing. I mean, it's less work for you to learn how to properly tie into it rather than like, I got to build from scratch and build up my own social media because you got to hire staff. You got to hire, I wouldn't want to do it myself.
I think also it's easier. Like if you have stuff you want to share with the Elite page, just share it with us. We love helping everyone out and like kind of bouncing all the content off each other. So if there was ever a chance so you can like share it with each other and just tag us or share it with us directly, whatever you want.
That's
a good point.
Also, if you guys are brand new and you have a downline that's brand new that just wrote their first piece of business, throw out a text to Sam, throw out a picture. We'll create a profile for him. We'll create a little spotlight. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to get that before from where there's like, oh, I did this. How come didn't make anything for me? How come didn't post anything? And I'm like, who'd you share it with? Yeah. And then they're like, oh, and I'm like, how are we supposed to know these things?
Did you invite your new agent to the group me? No.
and getting back to that for all the new agents, it's so important to get people to conference because I've probably been to like 6 or 7, maybe more, and you might hear somebody speak that will, you might be able to hear them in a different way to help your business. And I remember 3 years ago in Aliante Hotel, we had 2 different speakers that I remember. I remember Mark Mead getting up, and I remember John Wetmore getting up.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because Mark Mead is solid. He's pretty smooth. But John Wetmore, he was strictly like boom, 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 like by the book. And I was like, man, this guy here, he knows his numbers. He's really good at this. It kind of spoke to me to where I can like take control of my business and know my own numbers. And just hearing him speak, even though that sorry, don't record that. We probably shouldn't say that. He wasn't the best speaker, so to speak, but he's extremely successful. And we're able to see John Wetmore up there give his pitch of what he does in his business, and it really affected me. Just
Nice.
writing down simple things.
That was recorded, by the way. So
Oh yeah, so we'll cut that up. John Wetmore is solid. John Wetmore is solid, but just what it means is that you don't have to be perfect in this business to be successful. You'll see all kinds of people with all kinds of backgrounds at all the sales conferences. You'll have really sharp people like Albert. You'll have average people. You have just whatever, and they all have some form of success at FFL. You could really pay attention to the people that reach out to you or that speak to you, and yeah,
it's got to be consistent.
Be consistent.
Extra
Exactly.
7 pillars.
That's true. I won't change up the name again, but I had a different name before that, but it was taken. But
Anyways.
Well, go back to the whole John Wetmore thing. I mean, obviously it wasn't a slight against John.
No, it wasn't a
I know
slight at all. No,
but see that's
it
the
was
thing.
so structured. You know.
Yeah, no, he communicates in a different way. He's very like he's just very like he's an accountant by nature.
He's analytical.
Yeah. So he goes step by step, and which has value to those type of people that receive information and process information that way. So I mean, I think that's a huge benefit of getting your people to these sales conferences, and by people I mean yourself also.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because like it's not like, hey, I got it all figured out, I don't need to show up to these things. Like I already know I already have this big of an agency, or I produce this much. Like, what do I need to learn from all these other people from? Ironically, the thing at these sales conferences and national conventions, the thing I always like to pay attention to the most is like the new people.
Yeah.
Like when new people share, like I'm always like why do they feel this way? Because I'm like it's sometimes we've been doing this for a while, and you need that little bit of refresher.
Yeah.
And then you hear different perspectives, because like the business is ever evolving, and the business continues to change. You know, if you're not paying attention to what's going on, how do you make the necessary adaptations to continue to improve your business? What you've come in with, it's not going to be the same a year from now.
Yeah.
Like that's not going to continue to get you to the next level. So you got to get into these events and pay attention. You know, something like they always say, sometimes you need the meeting, sometimes the meeting needs you. Like, you know, to be a good teammate, to show up to these events, to help put someone over. I mean, that's always important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
especially like if you have a situation where, you know, you're not vibing, you're not talking the same frequency as your agent or someone else. When you have them come in, they're going to see and listen to multiple people. They'll get to identify with somebody that they'll listen, even though it's the exact same thing you've said,
right?
But they said it differently and they tuned in.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, I have notes from my my first sales conference, and every time I have a down week, I just look at those notes. I look at Mark Mead, I look at John Wetmore, at what they said. Mark Mead was more about being more consistent. Wetmore had his structure for his lead costs and lead flow, so you could take the emotion out of it. So for me, that helped me out. So these sales conferences, you might have someone speak that will change your business, you know, change the way you think. For myself, the only thing that I need to continuously work on is being what John said, is consistent. You know, I could
it's your pillar, man.
One of the pillars. You know, we could easily help 60, 70 families in a month, but can you do it time after time after time after time after time? And that's what is really needed, so you can pour money into your business. You know, you got to drive the sales up to put money into your business. Without the sales, you don't have nothing. So
yeah, these trainings, you know, team events, the symbolic nature of your logo, your agency, your teammates that you hold yourself accountable to, all these things are designed to kind of just create that framework around you to keep you accountable, keep you productive.
Yeah.
I mean, like having my sessions with Talise, I mean, like, it's not that she's necessarily doing anything, not to take anything away from her. It's not necessarily that she's like figured me out, and she's like, it's just someone that's going where you actually talk things out and you start to realize the mind's a really complicated thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes like your mind gets you trapped into these places which doesn't actually exist.
Right.
So like, you know, you might be facing a challenge and you're looking at the wrong way. You don't have the right perspective. And then you just keep thinking about like, okay, what do I need to do next? And then what I need to do after this. And then you create this like whole intricate web.
And then you get into a tunnel vision.
And it wasn't even that complicated to begin with, because you didn't talk it out with anybody. You didn't actually have anyone to hold you accountable. So, I mean, those sessions have been incredibly helpful for me because, you know, taking this little couple of days off, I mean, like I'm back with like a new focus. Like I'm really like excited to figure out what's the next step I got to do?
Yeah.
And it's to get us to another level. And
That's
I'm
good.
looking forward to that challenge because I know there's guys like this that are willing to step up whenever I'm out, or they're willing to step up and offering to step up even when I don't need it.
You know, you don't need it.
No, I don't need it, but it's nice. It's always a nice feeling to know like someone's got your back.
Yeah.
And that's something that we all got to strap to. And if you want people to have your back, whose back do you have? Like who are you genuinely looking out for? Not just like when it's convenient for you. It's just like I know I can count on John and JP. Like even if it's inconvenient for them, if they know I need it, I can count on them.
Yeah. That's true.
So it's my job to be accountable to them, to not put them in those positions if I don't have to.
Yeah.
So I got to continue to work hard and continue to look out for them as well.
Yeah.
When you talked about growing your business, I think we can correlate that to new agents. And I had a breakthrough like probably last year or maybe a year and a half ago where I stopped becoming emotional about lead spin.
Mhm.
And so many agents are so emotional about spending money. They got to make money. They're so transactional instead of just, doing it no matter what. And then over time, your numbers will just match up and they'll just play out. And I think a lot of the agents that are on this call, if you could take the emotion out of the business, which you're extremely good at, I've gotten better at, and John's very good at, you'll just grow naturally. So I noticed for my sales, once I took the emotion out of it, I was able to hit higher numbers because I just kept investing, regardless if the call was, if I didn't close it or if I did close it, I was just on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. So for a lot of new agents on here, please make sure that you try your best to take the emotion out of your business so you can keep growing. Sales is number one, building is number two.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure you have your sales part down first, because you got to take care of yourself. Like you got to work from a position of strength, not out of weakness, because you can't build needing people to make you money.
Yeah.
Like you got to be able to know that you're able to generate your own.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do that, then you can sufficiently be in a position to be able to give and help others when they're down. If they need a little bit extra, then you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, so going back to the whole lead thing real quick, because both of you guys use different lead sources, and I feel like I've been getting a lot of these calls recently.
Mm-hmm.
And then new agents call, or agents that maybe not getting the results that they want, and then their question typically, hey, what's that one lead?
What's the best?
What's the best lead vendor? And like I'm not trying to be glib at all. I'm trying to answer very honestly when I talk to these agents, and I say like, look, there's these ones, and these ones, and then some people like these ones, some people like these ones, but you got to legitimately try them out yourself.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's not that one lead type is better than another. Like there's different price points, there's different mechanics in how they work. But the thing is, everyone has a preference, because going back to the whole mind being a complicated thing, you tell yourself you like something, it doesn't mean it's applicable to everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how important is it for people to try out different lead sources? Because you guys have both tried through plenty of them.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And then like there's certain ones that you just happen to like better, but then like you two don't like the same exact lead types, and you can
No, we
switch
don't
up.
use the same
Yeah.
lead type. I mean, John's very good at pivoting.
Yep.
And if you put all your eggs in one basket, you're going to lose. And I learned that for myself last year. If you get comfortable with one specific lead type and they run out of those leads, then what are you going to do?
Right.
You got to have a little bit of everything, because in my opinion, I know for a fact, no matter what lead type I have, I can sell that lead. I know now because I've done it enough.
Nice.
So for the new agents on here, instead of asking Albert or John or myself, what's the best lead, say, have I developed my skills enough to close any lead? That's the question you need to ask yourself. So not to sound cocky or conceited, but I know for a fact I can close any lead source, any lead type, so
People are people.
it is what it is, so don't focus on the lead, focus on your skill set.
Yeah. For me, man, it's all in the head, right? So
Yep.
What's the best lead type? What you're really asking is, what can I spend to get the most, right? So just come in experimental about it. That's the mind state. Okay. So you're investing in leads. You're not risking money to maybe lose money. So the most you can get, whatever's available for you, the most that you can have in front of like clients, and then identify first, so my main question I talk to a new agent is, okay, what's your strategy? What is your game plan? Are you full-time or are you part-time? Are you going to be in the field? Are you going to do telesale? Or are you going to do Zooms? Okay. We got to structure that first. How do you want to attack your leads? And then what type of leads do you want? Right. So the more you want to get in front of based on the amount you're spending, that's the consistency. Then you experiment. You get to figure out, okay, what are my returns here? You can't expect that in your first purchase. So you gotta just come in. I made money here. I'm spending here, and I'll be okay. If something didn't happen here, try something else. Okay, so it's just more of a mind state of experimenting and being okay, making money, and then changing things up.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you can always just start off with CRM.
Always. And then, one thing I want to make sure the team understands is that please do not start off with the lead source that I'm using or another manager's using just from the gate, because I pay between $80 to $120 per lead. And if you're not closing those leads, I mean, you can go out of business real quick. So instead, you should try and get as many possible leads as many leads as possible, get as many bats as possible, keep your ROI up so you don't have to worry about it. You make more money on your investment and you have more shots of winning. So I'll give you an example. I'm not saying my lead source is better or another lead source is better. I'll give you an example based off of $1,000 lead spend. I spent $1,000 yesterday on my leads. $1,000 will get you 100 CRM leads. Typically, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. $1,000 lead spend with me will get me 10 to 15 calls. So you have 100 opportunities over here in the CRM, and you have 10 to 15 opportunities over here on a live transfer. So as a new agent, you definitely want to be over here because your skill set is not as good as a more experienced agent. And it's not that we're better. We just have more time in the game of doing the exact same thing over and over and over. I mean, I'll just give the team an example. 2.5, 3 years ago, I used to come in Albert's office and I was brand new and I was so bad on the phones. I would sit myself in his office next door. I'd come at 7:00 in the morning and I would dial till 8 p.m. every single dial day until I got better. And the reason why I did that is because I knew, number one, I had no backup plan. A lot of us go into this business thinking that we could just try it out. But if you're really serious and you're in a place in your mind where you want to succeed, there is no backup plan. You're just going to go to work. So I used to be in his office every single day and dial for 10 to 12 hours straight. So are you guys putting in that type of work ethic, those type of hours to get the success that you need? Now my lifestyle is very good because I did put that time in, but you got to put the time in. All of us are the same. If you put the time in, if you don't put the time in, there'll be a big difference between a brand new agent and an experienced agent. Big difference.
Well, I think, to your point, I think we touched on that with Darren last week. Yeah. He kind of graduated his way up to mortgage leads. So the thing is, JP makes an awesome point. I mean, it's not like this one lead type because these top producers are doing it, or this is what they're using. That means it's the golden source. It's because they figured out based off of their experiences of things that worked out for them, things that didn't work out for them. They've evolved into where they are now. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's something that you all have to individually do if you want to grow your business. It's if you're looking for, hey, what's the lead source that's going to be the slam dunk every single time? It's not out there.
None of them.
No, none of them that exists. Right. I'm gonna be very upfront about that. And you got like when I started, I always tell the story. I'm like, when I said like, hey, I called all these leads. I told my manager, I'm like, hey, I called through all these leads. They're not interested. They're like, she's like, it's not that they're not interested. It's just you suck.
Yeah.
Right. And I took it a certain way at the time, but then like in retrospect, I'm like, she's absolutely true. It's absolutely, it's absolutely correct because I didn't have the experience. I didn't know what I was doing. I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
And because and I think I love about JP is he's got a ton of irrational confidence. I don't mean it in a bad way.
That's true.
But it's like he's always like looked at himself as a top producer, even when the numbers weren't there.
That's true.
And like I always like admired that about him because I'm like, if you have that belief in yourself and you're willing to actually put in the work and actually take some constructive criticism and feedback and you all that stuff, after some time you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you start off, you don't believe in yourself, or you don't believe the leads are going to work, you don't believe you can make money, then you're going to fail.
Yeah. And the reason why I have that is, it's not that I was cocky or anything like that. It's just that we have to have confidence in sales, right? I mean, I came from sales. The only reason why I sold in my previous company is because I had confidence in the product. So for this, You got to have confidence in what you're doing, confidence in the product that we're selling, confidence that we are doing a good deed to these families and helping them get a life insurance policy. So I always had the confidence. And then now, just where I'm at now, the skill finally caught up to the confidence. That's all it is. So, for John, for Albert, who've been doing this 10 plus years, and you guys come in here and you look at them, you can't look at them and compare yourself because you're just not as experienced as them, but you will get better and you will get, to their level with the amount of repetition and calling these leads and down these leads. So one thing I can give for a tip for everybody on this call is take a step back, because a lot of us think that we're hot, S word, we're the best, but really we're not. And the reason I say that we're not is because in order for you to become an actual expert at something, you have to put 10,000 hours into it. I've been keeping track of my own time right now, and I probably put like maybe 5,000 to 6,000 hours into my craft here with FFL. So I'm not quite an expert yet, but I'm pretty darn good. So have you put in the time into your business to get you to the level where you want to be at? And if the answer is no, don't freak out, but you will get there over time with repetition.
And that goes back to the whole being a good teammate thing too. Sometimes, we're all lacking a little bit of confidence in certain things that are maybe new to us, or maybe we've hit a certain block with it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's also why it's important for you to be part of a group and be part of a supportive group, someone a team that's going to, uplift you and people, like if you're short on confidence at the moment, thing is, if you're around other people that are confident, like you can't help but just like it rubs off on you, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like there was when I first got into sales, like my old manager, she wasn't very nice to me, but it was like, but I was struggling at times, but I was like, okay, I don't really know if I can do this. I don't really know if I even want to be in sales or want to be in insurance. But I'm like, but she's got this strange amount of confidence, like an irrational level of confidence. She was doing really well, so I'm like, well, it's working for her. So like, it's like it's got to be something that I got to figure out.
Yeah.
So if she was always like talking about how terrible it was, or she was always broke, then I'd be like, okay, maybe it doesn't work.
Right.
But then say everything that we do, if we're having success, genuine success, we should go out there and share it. We should go out there and be a shining light on other people. And then the thing is, just be available. Try to help them out if it's not to your own detriment.
Yeah. Right. And then use that too. So I would say grade yourself, right? So when it comes back to that question of the leads, it's not really asking what's the best leads. You got to ask yourself, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Right? How good am I on dialing? How good am I on my discipline to dial? How good is my conversation? How good is my conversion? How good is my presentation? How good is my product knowledge? All these little things add up. Like
how good is my mindset towards investing into my business?
Yes, what's my lead strategy? How good am I disciplined on continuously buying leads instead of like blowing my money? How good am I with my finance? And all these individuals, that's where the sales conference will come in. But that's also going to be something that's in your humility to ask the right individual for proper guidance. And then don't be ashamed about it. Like if you are saying like for me, I always say I suck at telesales. Let me go ask some people. What are they saying? What are their word tracks to close on the telesales? And I'm slowly improving. I still prefer meeting in person, but these things are the experimental stage that you're going to have in your business.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a challenge.
And it's funny, Albert, you said the most important part of this whole thing, the mindset behind investing. People really don't understand the amount of money that you have to invest to grow your business. Just like yesterday, I spent $1,000 on my live transfers. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to spend another $1,000 tomorrow, right, to keep the revenue coming in, because the faster you can put money into this business, the faster you can replace it. And what I mean by that is, so now instead of me touching, and a brand new agent, you guys will know what I mean. When you get paid from a policy, the first thing you do is spend it on a bill. I don't do that anymore. The first thing I do when I get paid from a policy is I buy more leads. I only touch my money on the 1st and the 15th. And that's what's gotten me to a larger amount of sales volume, because I'm not spending money on random stuff. And it took a long time to do that. So if you guys are not listening, please take that down. And that's everything about FFL. Is knowing you will have to invest to grow your business. That's the only thing that matters. And that's the only thing that's going to keep you in business. And that's the only thing that's going to make sure that you have a lifestyle that you can be proud of. You know what I mean? So
I'm really proud of you because I remember we had
took a long
so many
time
of these
to-
conversations.
it took a
before.
long time where I was so afraid to invest. Now I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Well,
Let's figure it out.
I had like endless conversations with
I know.
JP. I was always like, he was always willing to work and he was willing to invest, but I was always like, you got to prioritize where you're spending your money because you're not helping
Exactly.
your business grow. So it was always like one step forward and two steps back. And
Yep.
I'm like, how do like I can't get across to you.
One thing, and what Albert's saying is don't upgrade your lifestyle too quickly.
Yeah.
Once you understand how to sell, which I got it down probably like a year into the business where I kind of knew how to sell. Don't start buying a bunch of random stuff, you know. And I'm
Yes.
telling you this from my own experience because
you sometimes-
I bought a lot of nice things.
Yeah, you
I
celebrate
didn't
too
need.
early.
Yeah,
too
you
quick
celebrate too
sometimes.
early. It's like for people who are, you know, basketball fans, we're up 20 points in the third quarter and we're already celebrating. We get off the gas and they end up beating us because we pulled off of the gas. You know, we're going to celebrate when we win.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing that I learned is learning how to invest properly into the business. So for everyone on this call, I'm telling you this from true experience. There is nothing else more important than investing into your business.
No.
Whether if it's buying leads or if you're marketing for your business or you're trying to get a new agent, but you have to buy leads for your business to keep it going. Take half of your money, whatever you get, put it right back to your business. Don't even touch it. So
Yeah, so I'm really happy for guys like JP where it's progressing because he's obviously not where he's ultimately going to be. He's still got a long ways to go. He's got a lot of people to help. But you know, this is the thing about just showing up.
just gotta show up.
I mean the thing is like if we had to base everything based off of strictly production or numbers, like I would have gave up on him a long time ago. Right? No, because it took him a while to get it, and but the thing is he kept showing up. He kept like reaching out. He kept like coming to the office. Kept like volunteering to help with things, and so because of that, like I never looked at it like his like what numbers are you bringing in that makes me need to help you.
Yeah.
I was just like I'm just gonna keep like helping him whenever I can, and then just be there for him because I see the effort, and then so all that for all of you guys that want help or need help. I mean, like, ask like, how much are you participating in anything to be able to receive to begin with?
And just remember, not always the fastest starter wins the race. I mean, I couldn't help 20 families till like 9 months, 10 months into the business. I didn't write my first policy outside of warm market till 4 months into the business.
Yeah.
So take a step back and understand it's not a lead thing, it's a you thing. You got to put your time into yourself and develop yourself into where you can really be, you know, I mean, now this is not to sound cocky, but I can stand up with any agent now and be like, I got it. Okay. Like it's no big deal because you put in the time. And once you put in the time, you got it. You know what I mean? It's just who's going to buy the most leads and who's going to work the most that month.
Love your confidence.
I know, me too. I love it. Honestly, I do. So whenever you guys are needing a little bit of a boost in terms of confidence,
Just call me.
Just be like JP.
Just
Just
text
be like
me.
JP.
Just text me.
You rest on one of the 7 pillars.
That's right. But you get a bunch of L's, you'll start winning. I'm telling you that.
All right, well, real quick. I mean, we got the sales conference coming up. We have Americo coming out. We have Prosperity coming out. We have AIG coming out.
Yeah.
And those are our 3 platinum partners that we're going to be focusing on. Obviously, Americo's been great. Instant decision, pay out very quickly. Your 24-hour contracting is coming up real soon. Just tons of the 10% bonus every 6 months, which has been a huge, additional benefit for everyone on top of the high comp. Prosperity, love our guy Jack Heller.
Jack's the man.
He's the man. I mean, gets things done. We contract things in 24 hours for them. They also have a 10% bonus every quarter. Instant decision for most cases with them as well.
Yep.
So just tons of benefits. I mean, the new one that we're really going to start to put a little bit more focus into, and then we're going to hear from Michael Sasaki from AIG, our account executive from AIG. He'll be at the sales conference, so he's going to explain a little bit more. But we want to just hop on real quick to share about AIG, the simplified issue plan, the guaranteed issue. You have a pulse, you can sign them up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They take credit card, they take Direct Express, they take all forms of payment. So really simple. Guaranteed issue is really simple. What's the nuances with simplified issue, the SIWL product?
Right. So if you guys have not been able to or don't know too much about it, I've added the information on the Google Drive. If you guys don't know the Google Drive, go to your welcome email. Joanne has it. It's in there. Click it. But yeah, so it's a new product by AIG that's similar and in competition with the Eagle Premier, the Mutual of Omaha Living Promise, the Prosperity eVista. So now you have an extra ammo in a sense, and then that's the 100% flagship carriers that we use.
Yep.
So instead of just going with AIG that's direct to a graded plan, now you have a simplified issue that's similar where it has a level plan and a graded plan. Okay, so same thing. Real quick recap. It's for ages 50 to 80. Okay, you can get up to 35,000. So similar, just like New Vista, Eagle Premier, you can quote. They have a. I'll share it right now. They have a link to do a quoter where you don't have to. Kind of like Americo. You have an Americo SC.Americo. You just go in. It's a simple quoter online. You don't have to log in. You don't need an app. It's just one link. I'll put it on GroupMe right now. But more importantly, too, why the specialty to them, pricing wise, they're comparable, they're competitive. Same thing as eVista and Americo compared to like Mutual of Omaha, where sometimes it'll be referred to underwriting issues like that with Aetna. This is 100% instant decision. So now you have 2-3 things that you can go enroll with, and you'll always have a policy for a client, right? Worst case scenario, you do a Mutual of Omaha, you do an Aetna, sent to underwriting, then 2-3 days later, you find out they're declined. Now you got to pivot again. Now you got to call the client again, try to get in front of them or do a telephone, and then it's all in limbo. Yep. So here's the process. You either do Americo Prosperity. If one doesn't work over the other, then you can do AIG, right? With this one, a key feature to this, you'll always get stopped when you're doing an Americo or Prosperity if there's an MIB hit.
Sorry.
Yeah, trying to talk. I'll let you finish.
Go ahead.
So if there's an MIB hit, if you guys have seen it when you're doing an Eagle Premier or you're somewhere in the middle of the Prosperity and assess, we cannot continue forward due to information on MIB. From what AIG is saying is that it does not check MIB. Okay, so you can try using them, SIWL, and then apply it. And then if it goes through graded, then you have your options as well. So same process. The brochure, there's an agent guide in there, and there's a quick agent brochure. It'll tell you everything with the height and weight and everything. Let me know if there's any other questions.
Yeah, so we'll get more in detail, but I mean, it's really not that complicated. And the reason why we continue to bring up these 3 carriers is because a lot of times too many options is kind of a bad thing.
Yes.
And then like people are thinking, oh, what should I go with here? What should I go? If you start with these 3, I mean, you can't go wrong. Yeah. I mean, you're going to get paid the most. It'll be least for you to manage.
Right.
Which is we're trying to simplify things for agents when they come on board. Like they were like, oh, I need to get all the product training. I need to follow up with this case and this case. If you have simplified issue with these 3, pretty much all the time. Yeah. What's there to follow up on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You get paid, the client gets covered, everyone wins.
Yeah. Right. Even better too with AIG. If you guys notice, when you guys are brand new and you have a Sure LC, AIG is one of the few people that you can actually look at your request. It'll say it's completed. Right. Right. So you'll see it's one of the few companies that'll come back sooner. You'll have an agent number sooner. Prosperity gives you an agent number within a day or two. We have the NLC with America that gives you an agent number within a day or two. So now with just these 3 companies, you're able to rock and roll for almost all products available for you. You can do the CBO, then you have the final expense.
Yeah, I think that's a very underrated aspect. Aside from learning how to navigate through the e-apps for all these different carriers that we have. I mean, I think for a lot of people, aside from the instant decision aspect of these 3 carriers, the thing is when we have that many carriers, like if you're a new agent, you got number one, you have to set up your portals, right. And then you have to learn how to navigate through. You have to learn how to track your business. Hey, how come I didn't get paid on this one, or is this one still in force? Is this one issued? Instead of trying to figure out like 20 plus or 30 plus like carriers, if you just knew 3, yeah, and if you've mastered those 3, not only is it easy to navigate those 3, but then everything else makes sense.
Yeah. And so 3 carriers, 2 products each. You're golden. Yeah. Right. So learn Americo's CBO, you learn Americo's Eagle Premier, you learn AIG's graded whole life, which is basically write up anybody between 50 to 80, no medical questions asked. You learn about their SIWL, and you learn Prosperity's 3 main ones, but 2 in California, the eVista and the Prime term, and then the Family Freedom term. That's it. You're golden.
Yeah, don't spread yourself too thin that way. And for anything that doesn't fit within those three, within those parameters, which is going to be very, very seldom. But if it's a really specialized situation, like it's an annuity or an IUL or something
AMS
like that,
stuff.
then reach out to the group, reach out to one
Yep.
of us. I mean, we'll walk you through that whole process, but keep things simple, keep it simple for yourself, help allow yourself to be receiving the right type of help.
Yeah.
100%.
So really, this will help out new agents. You're always thinking, we get this all the time. Oh, I can't start yet because I don't have all my carriers, all this and that. It's like, no, you need 3.
You're never
3, you're
gonna
good.
use all of them.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
Okay. So if there's any questions, come on down to the LA Sales Conference next week here in Carson. More information will be listed on our IG page. Sam's been doing a great job of updating everything on there in the link tree. So we'll see you guys next week for those of you that are able to attend, those of you that are local, and then for everybody else, I mean, we'll continue to be available and continue to share this information with you guys. So, let's go out there and continue to not only ask for help, but learn how to provide help or learn how to be available. And let's just all be good teammates to everybody else that's within our circles. So if you can go help somebody else out, go do it. So let's go out there and be lead, guys. Appreciate you guys.
All right, guys. Have a good one.